Hi everyone, here with a new episode of Player Talk. First things first, please do take a moment and like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. Today's the 26th of February, so it's a weekend. Time really flies by these days. Another FIBA window is about to close off, and I had a nice break assisting a lot of players. I actually conducted my first ever player group session with 3 players together. It was first of really many for all of us, and I was a bit worried, to be honest, and I thought it would be a bit of a mess, and the players would really not be as open to talk about their concerns or voice their honest opinions. But yeah, I mean, luckily it turned out fine. All right, one plus point was the fact that all 3 of them knew each other, and they knew that they were all working with me to develop themselves. All in all, there were some really good points shared about concerns at the time that we are as part of this current season. We discussed things like dips in performance, mental stability, as well as inter-team concerns on and off the court, the support from other players. These were just kind of like a bunch of, let's say, the topics that we went over. Actually, come to think of it, I think it's fair to share with you all on how I actually do run my process. I better just kind of like explain this and kind of make it a little bit more open for those that don't know about it a lot. And honestly, I only just kind of like share this off the record most of the time, so I think it's worthwhile making this public a little bit better as well. I only take on players as clients if someone refers them to me. I conduct a 30 to 45 minute initial free talk, so to say, and afterwards, or actually during the talk, I inform them about the aspects of what I can really help out with and how my structure really works in terms of relaying information through back to me and what they're potentially supposed to be looking at in terms of taking care of themselves. And after this, it's entirely in the player's hands to keep track of when they want to talk to me in terms of frequency, and it's also up to them on how they want to structure things moving forward. So some only want to do on and off talks once a month, just like a catch-up circumstance pretty much. But there are professionals, or let's say youth development players that are looking to make a jump to becoming professionals, that want to really talk on a weekly basis to evaluate their own circumstances, let's say much more frequently. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's roughly how the process works. I do want to get back to one specific point that we did go through in the group talk I recently conducted for the first time. So one thing led to another, and all 3 literally kind of like shared one specific thing, and that was about, as a player, how do you tackle when one of your teammates is seriously out of line and really doesn't interact good with others, including the coaching staff from their perspective? All 3 players pretty much said the same thing. And how is it that you as a player address this with this teammate that's actually pretty much kind of acting so out of line? So yeah, this was kind of like a hot point within the group, and apparently this was based on the fact that an import player that actually was brought into the team, potentially so a star player as I would see it, that has potentially, I think, the biggest contract most probably on the team, really sticking out like a sore thumb. And they're not taking part in any of the social engagements that's being set up by the club. And yeah, while administratively on some level the club can potentially handle a player like this if they're aware of it is one thing, but on another level, if the coaching staff or the club aren't really aware of the case, and naturally the players are constantly around each other all the time, nobody's able to really intervene on the club side. But what really happens in the player group in such a circumstance? Well, see, as a player, it's no one else's responsibility but your own to act professionally, right? So, I mean, that's, let's say, a pretty practical rule that all players that are pretty much paid by professional clubs should be acting out towards. Well, especially if you're playing at a high level or at whatever level you really are. I mean, it could be kind of like the top league or second league of a specific country overseas that you're playing in, or you might be in the US or just locally as a player, just kind of like playing. Conducting yourself as a professional on and off the court really is vital. I mean, I cannot stress how really important it is, because I mean, everybody literally sees you. I mean, you're brought into an organization, or you're part of an organization where you're setting a tone for the structure of, let's say, young kids, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old even, that are looking up to you or looking at how your actions on and off the court really do translate. And if you do not keep up with this, let's say, I'm not going to say persona, but this, let's say, case where you're supposed to be acting a very right way, it's going to turn off a lot of people. So it's important, I'd say, definitely. So yeah, a lot of players making the jump from youth development to pro level, they get sucked into the hierarchy of the game, but also think that they can get away with a lot just by negating the needs of the team, or by not being with the team when team building functions are actually done even. And even that kind of a case we discussed in the group. And I'm gonna coin this a very specific way. So all three of the guys that we were in the group talk with, they really kind of pointed out that this player was toxic. And I want you to kind of like understand the subtle difference of what a toxic player is in terms of a player perspective, so to say. Now, I mean, I don't necessarily think that any player is potentially toxic unless they really are harming the whole player group with any kind of deliberate action that they might not be taking, or that they might not be helping their team out with. That really rarely does happen. But I mean, when the entire group voiced it in this specific way, calling this import player a toxic player, that really wasn't nice, to be honest. And I did voice my concern that they should not definitely voice this out in a team atmosphere, for sure. I mean, it'll definitely influence what the other players in their team is thinking about their import player, which has been brought there for a purpose, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, it also did explain to me one thing. So I mean, this import player's ethics on and off the court really don't speak well and don't really translate well into the locker room. So that is a bit of a concern. And yeah, I mean, with such kind of issues, this can really lead to the team struggling to try to get to a better place. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, just wanted to share that. So I mean, being able to kind of like pinpoint a toxic player, having done this whole circumstance with group session for the first time ever as a consultant, that really was cool for me to actually do. And yeah, hopefully also was able to pass along a little bit of insight to you guys on how my process as a consultant really does work when it comes to working with players. And thank you so much again for having watched this video till the very end, for those of you that have stuck around. And yeah, please, again, feel free to like, drop a comment, or even better, subscribe to my channel. And always happy and looking forward to hearing back from you guys. Have a good one, and hope you enjoy the up and coming games post FIBA window. Take care.